and welcome inside Delaware Live Sports. I'm Nick Alessandrini, and this week I have the luxury of being joined by longtime Delaware basketball coach, most recently with Delaware Military Academy, Coach Phil Hill. Coach Hill, thanks for joining me tonight.
Oh, thank you, Nick. I really appreciate it.
And Coach Hill, we understand now this will be your last season coaching basketball. You finished up with DMA here in 2021. It's been a long coaching journey for you here in the state of Delaware and just all around. Talk a little bit about how you got started, and I believe it's 37 years of coaching. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct. So I want to say right around when I was 18 years old,
Wow.
my last year at Sally's, I was helping out over at St. Anthony's, my old alma mater. That's where I went, St. Anthony's.
Oh, gotcha.
And one of the coaches, Charlie Manowski, was like, "Hey, I need you to come over and help. Do some, run some drills and all that. Before you know it, here I am. I'm coaching the grade school team, helping out, doing drills at 18 years old. And it seemed like that I never stopped after that.
And now you must have been pretty good back then if they were asking you to run drills and lead some kids and coach that way. How was your high school experience? Talk a little bit of how you fell in love with sports in general.
Oh, it goes all the way back to my father, who's no longer here, but he always wanted me and my brother to be active in whatever we did. And, you know, just growing up in the neighborhood down at Little Italy, St. Anthony's area, you always were, I mean, the days of playing at the park, they're the best times of your life. I mean, you're playing basketball one day, and then you're playing football another day, then you're playing street lot baseball another day. So it was continuous activities, playing sports with a lot of good friends and a lot of memories back in the old Little Italy days.
Yeah, and as you said, you got started back when you were 18, helping out when you were a senior at Sally's, and now most recently here in 2021, you're finishing up with Delaware Military Academy. Talk a little bit about that journey, how you got started with DMA Basketball, and how we got to here today.
Well, it's a unique situation. So I have to give credit to John Raymond, who actually took over the program after Dave Hatfield. So he brought me on as an assistant, asked me if I wanted to get back into high school basketball, and I was like, you know, after several years of doing grade school, CYM, AAU, it was like, all right, let me go over this challenge and see what I can do and help out and nurture these boys, and hopefully they'll learn something from me. So I was an assistant for like 1 year, and then unfortunately John had to step down. Nick Dorda, and it was a time where they didn't have enough time to post, and they didn't have anybody else in the wings. And Nick was like, "Hey, Phil, you mind taking over a head coaching job?" And here I am. I'm a Newcastle County police officer. I'm like, how am I going to juggle this? Yeah. But we made it work, and it was only going to be for that year. Well, here we go, 9 years later, and I'm still here, but I'm finally hanging it up.
Wow, that's a cool story. See, I'm not sure how many people around the state know that. So you're only supposed to step in for 1 year, and next thing you know, 9 years later.
Right. Yes. And it was, you know what, I couldn't be more grateful and appreciative of DMA for giving me the opportunity. All the players that I was fortunate to hopefully have some kind of impact on it. But more importantly, I was able to hopefully I gave some life lessons out there. Like I try to tell my players every year that it's bigger than basketball. It's life lessons and how you're going to proceed and be successful in life after basketball.
Oh, absolutely. And, Coach, now we'll zero in on the season. We're just finishing up here in a very interesting season. I'm sure it's one that was or has been different than coaching seasons in the past with COVID-19 and different protocols and masks and so on. Talk a little bit about this 2021 season here at DMA and around the state, just some things that you noticed and just how the season went overall.
You know, first and foremost, I give kudos to DIAA and all the ADs out there for moving forward and allowing these kids to have a year, finish a basketball season, which was kind of good. I tell you what, it was a lot of work And I, not only myself, but I know every coach around the state of Delaware, both boys and girls, went through the same stuff, the paperwork, making sure that taking temperature checks, documenting, spacing, and obviously we had to be the mask police. And I can tell you what, I give big credit and kudos to these young players, both male and female, who had to endure basketball games and practices wearing a mask. As a coach, we were wearing them, but I was like, how do they actually do it? But you know what? Give these kids props and kudos.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. It's just so different than anything I'm sure you or I experienced playing in high school.
Right.
And to move forward here, also, Coach, the first year with an open tournament. Obviously, due to COVID-19, it was a big open tournament playoff bracket this year. You guys with a big first-round win over Newark Charter and then a very tough battle against Caravel in that second round. What were your overall impressions of that open tournament, how your tournament went, and would you like to see that maybe be a permanent thing for the future?
Oh, I think that I know in the past they've been talking about trying to make certain divisions and giving kids in certain team schools an opportunity to try to win something, win a championship, play for something. And obviously, you know what? We all want to win. We all want to win some kind of awards. But I can tell you, with this open tournament this year, it was a godsend. I mean, I think it gave every school a reshot and some kind of life that says, you know what, we have something to play for. And there was a lot of decisions that were being made that we were not privy to, but we heard that there wasn't going to be a tournament. We heard that it was just going to be a straight 14-game season. That was going to be it. And when you hear that, you really ask the kids, what are they playing for? So with the open tournament, I think it was great. It was a great idea. I would like to see it move forward in the future, just so every kid can experience making a state tournament.
Yeah, Coach, I'll tell you firsthand, it was a lot of fun to see all these teams participate, and also we had some great matchups all around the state tournament this year, so I agree with you there, too. I think that'd be cool going forward. Coach, like you said, wrapping it up after 37 long years, and I'm sure right now maybe you won't miss it as much right immediately, but we know you're going to maybe in a month or so. What do you think you're going to miss the most about coaching?
And every year you have a team, and every year that team has some kind of impact on you. I can tell you that this year's team, they were like no other. These young men, they all got along. And I can tell you that my personality, it was a little stern and disciplined in years past. I can tell you these kids just took a whole nother, opened up in a whole nother side of me.
Oh, wow.
And I can tell you that we really have some great kids, both boys and girls at DMA. And the good thing about it, we have a bunch of great kids that participate in Delaware sports all around. So I'm really going to miss the kids. But I'm still going to be around because my daughter starts high school next year at DMA, and I'm looking forward to being that parent up in the stands. I promise the referees you won't hear anything from me this time, but I just want to enjoy her 4 years of high school and just be a regular parent out there.
Yeah, but a little less stressful up in the bleachers. Yeah, still stressful, just not as stressful as down on the hardwood.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I'm just going to miss the kids, of course, and I built some great coaching relationships with some of the coaches, especially in our Diamond State Conference, which was like the Chris McLeans and the Bill Ludlows. We had some nice battles, but they were, you know what, when it's all over, it was just a game, and we just move on.
Absolutely. And, Coach, again, coaching for so long, Coach Phil Hill retiring this year after 37 years, most recently with Delaware Military Academy, boys basketball. And, Coach Hill, if you had any advice you would give to a young coach or coaches, maybe somebody that wants to get into coaching, what would that advice be?
Listen to your players. And you know what? Be open-minded, but also be stern. But more importantly, be patient, because in order for a program to get up and running, you're going to need patience and years to build on that program. So, and even most importantly, have that fire. If you don't have that fire, then you don't want to be a coach.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach. And again, before I let you go here, is there any moment, you've been coaching a long time, we talked about it already, is there a moment or a coaching moment that stands out to you when you think back of all those years of coaching? Is there something that has a special place in your heart?
You know, that's a tough one, Nick.
Put you on the spot.
I can tell you that one of the biggest joys was obviously coaching my son over at DMA in basketball.
Exactly.
But more importantly, you know, I just think that the respect that hopefully that you earn from coaching, but more importantly, you know, when I get, and I'm just going to lay this out there. I'm sitting on the couch. Next thing you know, I get a text message, a DM from one of my players, a 2015 graduate of DMA. And basically the text was, the DM was pretty much, hey, coach, just checking in, miss you and love you. That's what it's all about right there. So I don't care if I touch one kid or 100 kids. When I get that kind of feedback, I think my parents raised me right and I did something right.
Oh, you absolutely did, coaching. There are athletes all around the state of Delaware that will say the same thing. And again, everyone appreciates what you're able to bring to the table here at Delaware coaching, you know, for 37 years. And again, everyone appreciates it. Thank you, Nick. I really appreciate you guys and what you do on a daily basis. Thank you so much, Coach Phil Hill. And again, while we're finishing up here, we're running out of time. I'm going to put you on the spot for one more question here, if you don't mind. March Madness is starting up, NCAA. Who is your NCAA champion pick this year for March Madness? Oh, I got to go with Gonzaga. They got all the tools. People are like, yeah, they don't play a tough schedule. I can tell you right now, they got all the tools, and them young men all play together. So it's going to be nice. I can't wait. This is the best time of the year. So. Oh, yes, the best time of the year. Thank you so much, Coach Phil Hill, retiring 37 years of coaching here in the state of Delaware, most recently boys basketball at Delaware Military Academy. And there you have it, folks. Your NCAA champion is the Zags. All right, Nick. Thank you. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. For Nick Alessandrini and Coach Phil Hill, we'll see you next time on Delaware Live Sports.